Hello, you lovely people. Welcome back. This video is going to be about land and buying the land and the pitfalls. And the reason I'm making this video is because recently, over the last 2 days, the people who bought land down here, as my dog, he's found me. They bought land down here, and quite a bit of land, and it's not just one person, it's several people. And they've had the land for about 2 years. Now, there was a deed of sale and some documents that they got when they bought the land, okay? So they thought everything was legal and above board. And the person who they bought it off lives down there too. So what happened was, they tried to get surveys done. It's silly buying land without a survey anyway. I think it's actually illegal to buy land without having a proper survey done. Anyway, what it is, there has been a dispute because more and more people have bought land, and there's 5 hectares down there, and it's agricultural land, okay? So it shouldn't have really been sold as residential land to begin with, but it was. So what's happened, one of the people, he went to an attorney to try and get it sorted out because there's been no title, no mother title, or a portion of the mother title. So what's happened, guys, is he went and paid some money to find out exactly what's going on, because they tried to get a survey done, and the surveyor, when he come out here, he said, I can't survey this land because this land is owned by the bank. Not this land, the land I'm talking about, which is adjoining this area here. So that made people worried down there. Obviously, he's going to make them worried, isn't it? So they've looked into it more, and the lady who sold the land that didn't belong to her. It belonged to her husband. She bought it through someone, didn't change the name, or her husband bought it, didn't change the name. So it's been ongoing. And what it was, the husband of the lady who's selling the land, he died about 10 years ago. Now I know the story because it's all the talk around here, and of course my wife, you know, being Filipina, is very maritis, the same as everybody else around here. So this has been the talk of this area over the last couple of days. So what's happening is, guys, is that the land that they've bought is not legal. So they've bought land and paid good money for the land, and they've bought like 100 square meters. Some people have bought 200 square meters, and there's about 15 or 20 people who's bought, you know, land there and built houses. They've already built the houses without getting it surveyed. You know, this is a thing, people. Never buy land without a survey. Never. And see the title. Look at the title. Look at it again. Get it seen by an attorney. Get it seen by another attorney. And get the same answers from every attorney that it's legal and above board to buy. Well, what's going to happen here is nobody knows. Because the husband of the lady who's selling, and she's still continuing selling land. She's still selling the land. There is a person who's bought land a little bit further down, not more than 2 weeks ago. And no one seems to care except this guy that wanted a survey done, because he thought that one of the people that bought land encroached his land. So this is why he tried to get a survey done, and the surveyor's come out and said, sorry sir, can't survey it because it's owned by the bank. So what the surveyor told him to do, he said, because the dead husband of the lady selling the land took out a loan on this land and it hasn't been paid, he said, what you need to do, he says, you're not even tenants to the people. You're not even tenants because you shouldn't be on the land. It wasn't her land to sell, it belongs to the bank. And also, the bank can come back there and they can reclaim that land anytime they want. So the surveyor said, at the best, he said, prepare money. And hopefully, if the bank does come and take it back, you've got money to be able to buy it again. Because it's not the price of the land, it's the price of the houses that they've built down there. You know, there's been a lot of time and effort, you know, gone into some of their builds, because they're not like normal Filipino houses. They've built concrete, hollow block houses, and some of them are bloody well nice, you know, and they spent a lot of money. So this is what the surveyors said. He said it might go on for years. It might go on for 10, 20, 30, 40 years and the bank don't come and claim it. But he says at one point, something will happen. But he said this happens all over in the Philippines. It's not just here. He said it happens everywhere. So the moral of the story, guys, is I've spoke about it before. Check it. Check. It's like when we got this land here, there was a bit of something going on with the title, and you know, we got it checked because we only got a deed of sale as well, and we got some other bits and pieces, and we got the previous owners and the person who owns it now, and blah blah blah. And it's good as far as we know it is, but the land down there is not, and this happens all over. And the lady did this to Filipinos, so it doesn't matter if you're a foreigner or not. They will do it to their own kind. So it doesn't make a difference. If there's money involved, the people are there. And they will do anything to earn that money. Some, not all. Some, not all. But as the surveyor said, they are not even legal tenants. Because the land shouldn't have been, it wasn't hers to sell in the first place. And the husband is dead and gone. And he never got the land changed over into his name anyway. So there's all this, people, you know, and it's just a minefield. When you're buying land here, it's a minefield. And a lot of people say, well, if you're a foreigner, why buy land and build a house when you can't own it? It's true. It is true. And I can see the sense in you people saying that. But I think with me, I think a bit differently because I'm married and I've got a son. So, I mean, the worst case scenario here is if I die, you know, what I've done, you know, it goes to my son and my wife and my son mainly. So there's something for him. But if I was on my own and I had a girlfriend and I wasn't married, I wouldn't buy land. I certainly wouldn't. So I did this for my son. It's not, well, it is for me, but it's mainly for my son because I can't, you know, this is not mine. Although I bought it, I financed it, it will never be mine. On paper, it will never be mine. So of course one day my wife might wake up and say, Stephen, get out. And you know, what choice would I have? I would just leave, but I don't think that would ever happen. Never say never. You know, you never know. But so you've got to be careful what you're doing here, people, really. You've got to be careful what you're doing. And I feel sorry for these people. Now, the guy that checked it all out, you know, the guy that I'm talking about who wanted it surveyed, and now he knows the story, word travels here like wildfire. It really does. And all of these people who's bought the land down there now, like I say, there's a lot. And she's still selling it. She's still selling the land. And he went over to the woman who sold the land and apparently had it out with her. But he said, what's the point in getting the money back for the land? It's not the land I'm worried about. It's the expenses he's paid building the house. Because he spent the land, I think he cost him 50,000. I think 50,000 pesos, which is not a great deal of money to us, but it is to some people. And he said he spent like 500,000 building the house. So you can imagine, it's not the price of the land, it's the house. But she said, I don't know what they talk. You know, she's denied it. The lady has denied it. She said, no, the land belongs to her. It doesn't belong to the bank. She said that her husband did take a loan out on the bank, but it was paid. So even when the truth is blatantly put in front of some people, They still deny it. But, you know, it's something to do with me. I just thought I would put this out there in case any foreigners like, you know, yourselves out there that are thinking of buying land or could be going through the same thing. Be very, very wary. Be very, very wary. Like I said as well, you know, your wife's family, they will all have land, I would imagine, and they will all have a cousin or an uncle or a friend who's selling it. Don't go through family if you can help it, or unless you know it's legal and above board and it's good land with a good title, a good clean title, and there's nothing owed on it as well, because here there is land tax, and a lot of land taxes is never paid. So you could buy the land and be, all of a sudden, you've got this bloody big bill to pay where they haven't paid the land tax for 100 years and the people who they bought it off before haven't paid it. So we can go on and go on, and the finances keep accumulating. The debt accumulates. And of course, once you've bought the land and you've built your house, then you're in it. You know, you are fully inside of that, or you're committed. You're committed. But like I said, people, here money talks, and it doesn't matter who you are. If it's an auntie, an uncle, a brother or a sister here, money will always be king. Money will always rule over anything else. So there is no loyalties, so to speak. There is no loyalties when money is involved here. So just people, truly, you know, get it checked, check it again, even if you're spending extra money and you think, I'm spending like a lot of money trying to find out if this land is kosher, it's better to do it before than you find out after, like these people down here. But some of the people don't seem to worry about it, you know, that they haven't got like a mother title. They say, oh, it's okay. I'm thinking, you know, like, how can you be so blasé about it? People, not the guy. He's fuming about it. I don't know what he's going to do, but he said apparently it's pointless even trying to take it to court, because how much money would it cost taking it to court? And he simply hasn't got the money. So I think what he's going to do, well, he's only got one option. He's going to stay there, obviously, and just hope and pray that the bank don't come and take it. But as he says, you can't get it surveyed, you can't get that clean mother title, you can never sell. You can't sell it if he wanted to. He doesn't want to, but if he wanted to. So all these people who's bought the land, they've bought it illegally, unbeknown to them. But then you've got to think to yourself, without it being surveyed, how can they sell it? Because someone can say, like a person who's buying the land, I'll have 200 square meters, and they'll just pace it out or measure it out. But where's the boundaries? You know, where does that 200 square meters start? And is there a road right? Is there access? No one knows. Here, they just don't know. So the number one rule is never buy land without a survey first. You need that survey. Or if it's not surveyed, you get the owner of the land to get it surveyed and get those PS, you know, those stones in the ground, the private survey or whatever it stands for. You need that. You need that. That's very, 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 very important. So people, be very careful. Be wary. If someone's selling land, you know, like a family member of your Filipina, and it sounds too good to be true, I guarantee it is. I guarantee it is. Because people will do anything here for money. They will sell someone else's land. They will sell land that's got no clean title. Like here, it belongs to the bank. And also, they've sold the land, even if it was legal and above board, they've sold it as residential. It's not residential land, it's agricultural land. And I believe with agricultural land, you can only sell it in lots of 1,000 square meters or 2,000 square meter lots if it's agricultural land. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's somewhere around about that. And then in that 100 or 200, 1,000 or 2,000 square meter lot that you bought as agricultural land, you can only build one house. And I think maybe Yeah, I think that's the law. Don't quote me, it's just what I've been told. And it sounds about right, but what sounds about right here and what is right could be two totally different things. So yes, don't buy land here, people, unless you've got everything legally above board. It's been done by attorneys and you've checked it out with somebody else and somebody else. That's the way to go. Because no one wants to lose money. Even if you've got money, no one still wants to lose money. And it's a shame, because it's these kind of things that puts foreigners coming to the Philippines, because there is a lot of scams here, people. There really is. And when you get you hear about these scams, and even about these Filipinos who can get you locked up if you have an argument with them, with your wife. You have an argument with your wife, she can call the police, you can be arrested under the Cruelty Act to women and children. It does put people coming off here. But you stick within the rules, you buy properly, and you do everything as best and as legally as you know, then you'll have no problems here. I'm saying it's a good place to live. For me it is. I know for a lot of you it's not, and I get that. But for me, it suits me. But yeah, just follow your gut instinct, people, because your gut instinct is never normally far wrong. It's never normally far wrong. When you're buying land here, use this and not your heart, because your heart will think, oh, I can never buy this in my country, I will buy this. And it's not the thing to do. Use your head, people, and get it checked out again. And like I said, if you can, stay away from family members, buying land off of family members, unless it's been surveyed and you go to an attorney with the landowner and with all the papers and the BRI, get it all checked out, then maybe it's okay. But other than that, stay away, people. Anyway, there's a big storm here all over the Philippines, and it's been absolutely terrible. Heavy rain, the winds. I think they said another 2 or 3 days and it should get out of here. But it's been horrible. Can't do anything. So people, wherever you are, if you're in the Philippines, stay safe. Keep out of this storm. And if you're not in the Philippines, stay safe as well. Have a lovely day, people. See you next time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.